Are we live? Hold on. I don't think they can hear us. I don't see my stuff moving. Let me change it real quick. I apologize. All right. Talk, gentlemen.
Hello.
All right. So we got some life. All right, guys. What's up, boys and girls? Welcome once again to the RTP, Rarely Typical Player Podcast, where we have once again come to you guys with another RPG Maker game. This time we have the RPG Maker game called Pinnacle, the Five Kingdoms. I believe this was made with Beachz. It is a tactical RPG maker game that reminds you of I heard some people referred it to Ogre Battle, and which one you said it was, Harlequin? You said Shining Force?
Somebody said in my chat, or just good old Fire Emblem
without the cool, cinema.
Yeah, Fire Emblem from Wish, basically.
Fire Emblem from Wish, because it's RPG Maker, I guess. But we come to you once again with just some ordinary guy's opinion about a game that they played. So, not sure if this game is actually going to be a commercial game. I don't know. I don't really see. The reason why I say it could be a commercial, because the developer did mention the fact that you could support them in the build on their Patreon. So I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? So if they have a price tag, the goal is to get as many players as possible to buy your game. If they have a Patreon, the goal is the same. You want as much Patreon subscriber as you can get, right? To get the money. So it doesn't really matter if it's commercial or not.
Yeah.
The goal is the same.
Yes, but sometimes I would like to, let people know the game is commercial, because, some people react differently because it is commercial. And especially if they're going commercial themselves, they have some type of idea of, what could they be doing with their personal game versus what somebody else is doing with their game, going the commercial route as well. So the game, this was a community wheel pick choice by, I believe it was Colo, and Colo was hounding the RTP crew to play this, and unfortunately it won on the first day. So the RTP, I guess, Wheel wanted us to play this game so bad, or he could have put some snake oil on it and voodooed the wheel.
Colo rigged the wheel, absolutely, man.
All right, so a quick synopsis about this project. It is multilingual, bilingual project. The original language is in Italian, and it's been translated to English. The Pinnacle is the Five Kingdoms is a strategic turn-based RPG with management aspects. Meet a large cast of heroes, choose to act virtuous heroes or money-hungry mercenaries, and train and gather powerful armies. The current demo contains about 8 to 12 hours of gameplay. If you enjoy the game, fund me on Patreon. This is why I'm thinking it could be going the commercial route, because it say fund me on Patreon. So I don't know. All right. So before we get into the game, I would like to introduce my co-host. You know me, of course. I'm D7, and I am here with Harlequin,
What's up, guys?
and we is here as well with Cychronic.
Oh yeah, what's up, guys?
All right. Ed Genji Pharaoh. This is a first time chatter. They said, if this is commercial, I hope the dev plans to replace all the character art because you can't use Sky Castle Studio assets commercially. To my understanding, I believe these are placeholders. But since it's like free right now, I don't think they're in the wrong. So
They're gonna be okay, I think.
I don't know. So all right, guys. So let me pull up the beautiful footage that our very own Cychronic game has provided us, and we're going to talk about, the several different topics: the story, the battle system, the game mechanics, and maybe the music. Stuff that really makes a game and what some people are looking for into a game. So I believe Simple Gaming went last week. I think he went last week as, the starter of Renzai's game. Was it Renzai or? Yeah, it was Renzai's game. And I want to say it was Cychronic that started. I don't know. I forgot. But
I don't know.
I
don't mind going either way.
All right, somebody take over. I don't care who it is. Somebody just want to tell us
Why don't you take over for once?
What?
You never go first.
I never go first because I'm the host.
We're all the hosts.
I'm the VJ. I'm the MC. I'm the MC. All right, so I will start. Okay, so what I got out of this game, guys, you are in the land. I forgot the name of the capital. I want to say the Merflands, but I could be incorrect. But you are on this one continent that is separated into 5 different kingdoms. And the kingdoms are, number 1, the Merflands. Number 2, the Merflands is ruled by Odontos, which is the elder bear. Those are the bear-like looking characters that you see, the animals. Those are, the bears are the Merflands. Then you have the Logany, which is like your high tech, your scientific, your technical region, which was founded by Corral, who were known to have cheated death because they constructed a suit of armor that cheated death itself. So basically, they were pretty much indestructible. Then you have Vestusia, which is your demonic realm, which is ruled by Fairnats, the demon. Like they're just hell spawns, they're demonic beings or whatnot. Then you have Litharia, ruled by Osma, which is the Vile Queen. Those are the ones that kidnapped the dragon. I don't know if Harlequin got that far, but the dragon was kidnapped. You fight this lady who eventually jumped out the window and just went ham. Then you have Gold Rise, which is the Dragon Kingdom ruled by Thora. Some of these kingdoms are at peace. Some of these kingdoms are at war. But as the main character, like when you start your character, create your character, you can actually choose which kingdom they are from. I'm not sure if it changes the game or the output of the look and style of your character, but I really don't know. Maybe it's default, or it could affect your stats. It could affect your magical stats. I don't know. You know, it definitely does invite, you know, the avenue to have multiple playthroughs. Some may agree they may want to do a multiple playthrough. Some may disagree. They may not want to touch this game ever again. You know, which is the beauty of what we're going to be getting to into this podcast. So, pretty much, in the beginning, I chose to be from Logany, which is the land of science, and I went with the strength build and the luck decrease build. So
okay, yeah, I also picked that one.
You picked Logany,
but I picked I went with like the musketeer sorry, emergency.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
Okay.
Everybody is.
All right, testing federal, state, local, and tribal territorial levels to evaluate nation's alert.
Everybody's getting that at the same time. So I just turned mine off. I just turned mine off. All right, so
okay,
it's going off again. Oh, and I can't turn my phone off. So
man, I'm so glad I'm a German. I don't have to deal with that kind of crap.
You gonna get it soon. So anyway, I chose Logany, you know, because, you know, scientific. I like science. I like technical stuff. And I went with the musketeer too, because, you know, you use the sword, use the spear, use the axe, use the bows. You don't really see a lot of games that use muskets and guns. So especially in the medieval style, you know, time game, I went with the musket, of course. So I think it doesn't really matter like who you pick or what you pick. Your character may look the same, it may look different. I have no idea. But
yeah, I noticed no difference. I picked the Undead Kingdom as my starting point, and the Cook, as well as the swords, man. Mm-hmm. I'm always gonna be swords. Mm-hmm. And I picked the plus defense and the negative luck. Mm-hmm. And the game for me seemed the same as what I saw on your stream.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also did negative luck, but I did increased speed.
So the only thing that's probably different is the term when you go pick your class, and that's going to determine, you know, what books you can read and what skills you can learn. So
yeah, probably.
So anyway, the game starts off, you know, you're hurt. You was involved in the wreckage, which turns out that gnolls have scared the horses, which forces you to get thrown off a cliff. So, you know, a group of travelers pretty much ran across you, and they pretty much healed you. One is a pilgrim. Pilgrim was another term as a healer, or, you know, like one of the Quaker men, you know, like a priest or something like that. So they end up healing us, and us being in our gratitude, we decided to help fight the trolls, because we have no choice. They got us outnumbered. So after the battle, of course, you're victorious. After the battle, the leader of the band, you know, explained to us that they are on a mission to find their daughter who was kidnapped. So, you know, to return our gratitude, we agreed, you know, to help to assist them. So pretty much from there on out, you know, we meet different characters who have different needs, different wants, and the game gives you a unique avenue where you can choose to like create allies or maybe make enemies, you know. So most like every player want to be the neutral good type, you know, person. So
what?
Yeah,
what you talking about?
Yeah,
who the fuck want to be neutral good type person?
So
fuck out of here.
So most likely you're going to help out because you're a good person. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Well, what I did
not.
what I did, I decided to, help them out. You know what I mean? I decided to help them out. So, long story short, because it is a 4-hour demo, based on my experience, even though the developer said 8 hours, I finished it in 4 hours. So pretty much you are a leader yourself. You are a commander of an army yourself, and you got waylaid by the attack. So when you go to the first town, your troops known that you was there, and they come to you and say, you know what, we need to finish what we were starting, but you tell them based on your choices, well, I got other affairs I need to take care of. I would deal with that later. Let me take care of this first. So you pretty much, go to a different crossroad of doing different missions, coming across different allies and stuff like that. Pretty much, you run across each and every character that's from the several different kingdoms, and you can either become an enemy with them or an ally. So that's pretty much what I got from it. So
yeah, and also the part that you start out in the game is what's called the Forgotten Lands or something, because it's chaotic and there isn't any like law and order really. So the demo kind of ends at a good spot as far as like you getting a base of operations, which is also kind of common in this type of game, and basically you can kind of see how it lays the groundwork for, like, I guess the last kingdom will be like yours or whatever.
And this shows you the potential growth that this game actually really have. You know what I mean? It's not perfect, but you can see that potential, what it's trying to bring. You know what I mean? Like, different people recruiting. Like, you're recruiting different people. Some people, you can become enemies. And when you get that, imagine you getting that strong, that fortress, that stronghold, and whoever that is in your party, you can either create allies of different nations, or you create enemies. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you gotta look at the bigger picture. You gotta look at the bigger picture of what this game is trying to accomplish, and I think I see it. You guys may not see it.
No, I see it too. I do see the potential. Yes, it's definitely not perfect. It's got plenty of issues, but I like the overall vision of what they're trying to do with this game. I've played a lot of games like this in the past, and it's always been like it is right up my alley, actually. So I like these kind of games.
Yeah. I'm scared to ask Silver Game what he think about it. I don't think I want to ask him. Should we ask him, Cychronic?
Yeah, sure.
Man, I'm not gonna.
What do you think?
There you go, laughing. There he go.
Right. I don't know, man. Like, I kind of see it, but I also see like somewhat of an identity crisis.
Okay.
Like, you start out the game very much as like a Fire Emblem type game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never played Ogre Battle or something like that, so I'm gonna compare it to Fire Emblem because that's what I played, and it's very similar, right? You got your little units and your fighting stuff, and then you got a lot of dialogue in between. That's how it goes. But then down the line, it goes to like an army simulator, which is more like Heroes of Might and Magic, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Like, I would have actually preferred it if it was more like Heroes of Might and Magic, because that game was genius. Fire Emblem, I don't know. For me, Fire Emblem is carried by the visuals more than anything, because the battles are fairly easy in this game too. Like, I didn't need to use any tactics. It's just attack, and that's it, and heal whenever. and I don't know. It's a lot of dialogue. I picked the mercenary band as my starting thing, and that's also what I role played pretty much. Like when they asked me to save the daughter, I made them pay first of all. And when the mayor asked me to help, I made them pay the maximum amount I could. Like I took the 1K from him, and whenever I talked to the people, they always had this little spider emote thing, you know, when they kind of hate you for that.
Yeah.
I mean that's what I played, right? I'm a ruthless fucking mercenary. I'm gonna take all your fucking gold.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I played as the pilgrim, the group of pilgrims, and then whenever I would come across something, I was just like, I'm just here to help. I'm glad to help.
Yeah, me too. And I told them, I say, look,
that's the goody two shoe approach. Yeah.
And I say, give me half the money, not the full price. I take $250.
No, man, I was ruthless. I was like, here, you gotta talk with your purse with me. Like, I'm not saving no daughter for free.
Wow.
And then there was this other battle where some other kingdom came in, and I was just like, that's not my battle. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Fuck that. I'm not getting paid for this. So I'm gonna fight it.
Don't you know you're missing out on characters and
I don't give a crap.
What
do I need more characters for?
Dialogue avenue. You're missing out on a lot of stuff, my guy.
Who's to say you're not missing out?
What do you mean?
Yeah, there could be benefits to the dark path.
You're not getting the extra, content that
how do you know? How do you know? Maybe I'm getting more evil characters.
Because either way, like for the example, the brute, the escaped prisoner, well, the warranted demon, with the writer, he was a deserter guy, somebody from his homeland, didn't know he was alive, and he was afraid to go back because he would have been classified as a deserter, which he would have to stand trial. So upon that encounter, we could either side with a demon who's a murderer, a rapist, and a thief, or side with the bounty hunter that's trying to arrest them. You know what I mean? Each option,
you're getting a character either way.
Yeah, either character, you either getting a demon character or one of those. Well, I believe they was from Gold Rise as well.
Yeah. So what am I missing out on if I'm getting a character either way?
If you say you're not going to have any part of it, you're not going to get anything. That's basically saying that's basically. What do you mean you had enough characters? The goal is
beginning characters and the prisoners.
The goal is to recruit as many recruiters as you can. It's an army. That's why you're hinted later on. You get in the fortress stronghold to build your army, to build your military. So of course you want to have different allies and different,
So I'm just playing on hard mode. What's wrong with that?
Oh my gosh!
Look, the game lets me be evil, so I'm not missing out on content. I'm just taking the evil route. If the game doesn't have content for the evil route, that's a developer problem, not mine.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not
I didn't need any new characters. Like, the game is absolutely mind-bogglingly easy.
Well, if you're gonna get a base of operations though, which it looked like you were getting, it seems like there's gonna be battles where you're gonna need more than just 4 or 8. I was getting up to like 10 characters and stuff. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot.
I had as I said, I had the beginning characters and the 2 prisoners, the weird bunny dude and the chick. and that's about it. And the last fight I did was against this snake lady.
The Gorgon.
Oh,
the Gorgon, and that's how many squares I had. Like, I could fill all the squares. What do I need more characters for? Which is already a bad thing. Like, the way they handle positioning your troops is really bad in my opinion. Like, don't give me just as many spaces as I can have units, right? Just let me place my units freely in an area and not designate specific points for the thing, because all that ended up happening is I have to spread out my units all across the fucking entry point and have to move them together for my strategy. Just let me place them fucking freely wherever I fucking want them to.
What you think about that, Sacronic?
I don't know. That didn't really bother me that much. It's just, you know, a lot of tactics games do this exact thing, and it's pretty standard. And it doesn't really bug me too much, honestly. You set your units down on a certain part of the map. It's like, you know, it's a.
But it's not tactics. It's stupid.
Well, it is.
Technically, it is tactics, because some characters can't walk over another character that they're in front of, especially ones with that can't really move, you know. So some characters can block you,
and there's ones that can fly and go over cliffs and stuff, and then there's ones that can go in water. And
yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, keep the area, right? Keep the starting area, but give me freedom to place my units in that area.
They gave you freedom to place in the area that they wanted you to place.
Yeah, they gave me 5 specific spots for my 5 units.
Yeah, well, later
I can swap them out in the spots, sure, but that's not what I wanted to do.
Well, later there's battles where you only have 4 spots, but you have, you know, like 10 people on your team, so you gotta kind of choose who you allow, you know.
Yeah, but that, to me, it's like I want freedom in the starting area to place my units however the fuck I want to.
Yeah, and I don't usually see that very often in tactics games where you just can freely place them wherever you want. I mean that seems less tactical to me than, you know.
I mean, if the map has a narrow entry point, right, and a wide entry point, and I choose to use the narrow entry point as a choke point, I want to do that. I mean, I can still do that, but I have to waste 3 turns to get my fucking units that are on the left side of the map up to the right side, so I can actually do that.
Okay, so have you
instead of having the freedom to place my units wherever the fuck I want?
Have you thought about this? Maybe if you was given that choice, it probably would make things a lot easier. Maybe the developer wanted a little challenge to restrict the player from putting characters in a comfortable position of their choice.
But that doesn't happen. The enemies don't engage you unless you go close. So all that happens is me wasting 3 turns where nothing happens, getting my units into position.
So there's really nothing to...
It's just wasted time.
It didn't really bother me too much. The turns kind of went by.
Yeah,
it fast.
Might be a little bit of a niche thing, sure.
Are you serious?
Like, it's a tactics game. Like, let me place my army wherever I want my army to be.
That's AAA. That's AAA,
concept,
DJ.
Really.
That's a AAA game. We cannot compare a AAA game to an RPG Maker game, my guy. Especially a Mario game. So stop it. Stop it.
Also,
that's probably the smallest nitpick I have, and I have a lot.
Oh my gosh.
The nitpick that I have with the game, honestly, is I would say the graphics, like the chibi characters and all that. Like the custom stuff, like the world map looks good and everything like that. I like that. But the actual like graphically, it feels sort of unappealing when I'm playing it.
Yes, the only thing that looks good in this game is the world map. The rest is shit.
You don't like the retro style of the game?
It's not the retro style. It's the shit ass mapping they did. Like they can't even use the tiles correctly. You have so many seams between the tiles and so many weirdly placed stuff that's just overlapping each other. It's just really bad mapping.
It ain't that bad.
It's super bad.
I've seen worse, but at the same time,
I mean, we've all seen worse, but it's still bad.
Chat, is the map bad in this game? Is the map bad in this game?
No, the overall world map is cool.
Yeah, the world map is cool. That's used with, I think DJ King used a program like that, like a map program. I forgot the name of it, but it looks like it was made with that. You know, like it.
Maybe tiled? I don't know.
Nah, it's something that
it's the only other map editor tool I know.
Shoot, what is it called, DJ? That map tool you told me about that looks really nice. I forgot the name of it. DJ knows. See, Colo Coco said not about incarnate. And
Colo Coco can't even make his own maps, man.
Not a bad map. I'm looking at right now. It's pretty decent. Padre even said the map is decent. This is Padre 81. This is Padre 81. So he has a lot. He has a lot of say in the RPG maker community. He has a lot of influence. So you gonna disagree with Padre? Are you actually gonna disagree with him?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, I'm not disagreeing on this map specifically.
Wow,
this map is acceptable, I guess. But the rest, man, the combat maps, oh my god.
Wow, this guy, he'll argue with the Pope if he had to. My goodness. Sucks. All right, so what's another nitpick you got?
I mean the character busts.
Okay.
Don't fit the game at all. Like, if it's placeholder, then why not fucking use the RTP fucking heads, like the faces? If it's placeholder anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think I like it better than the RPG Maker heads, but yeah, it is a placeholder.
Yeah, it's placeholder though. Why go through the effort of going on Hero Forge and making all these characters when it's placeholder anyway?
Well,
like that's 2 hours wasted you could have spent making your game decent.
I guess
right? What's the point?
I guess these are models now that's going to probably get redrawn to look exactly how it looks. So that's what I'm thinking. They probably just got these as, you know, because the sprite looked just like the bus as well. You know, they probably just gonna get it drawn. Sprites? Huh?
Who knows?
Nah, I don't think they're gonna get some sprites. I don't think they're gonna get new sprites. To be honest,
I don't know. Maybe,
what sprites you gonna find?
Custom.
What sprites you gonna find with this to go with this map?
I'm saying they probably made the sprites custom because they obviously match the busts.
Yeah.
But like, what's the point? Like, if the busts are placeholder, replacing the placeholder is just a waste of time.
But they probably just figure out, oh well, I can't use this if I'm going commercial. I have no clue if they're going commercial or not. Cyclonic said they're not. You know, they're itch pay saying that they're taking...
Well, they haven't yet, but I don't know if they're planning on doing it later.
I mean, the dev said they're placeholders. That's the important part. So, so why make placeholders like that when they're placeholders anyway?
It can be useful for you to like actually kind of feel what you're trying to do. I don't know,
man. The sprites are clearly generator sprites, right? They come with a face set.
Heroic said using Hero Forge as an idea generator is fine, but can't use art rips if you have a Patreon. I mean, we understand that, but let's all speak in reality. This is RPG.
I don't give a shit if it's legal or not.
This is RPG Maker. This is RPG Maker. Maybe this game will probably make $100 or $200 or $1,000 in this sales lifetime. I don't know who's going to hire the lawyers and go.
I think I think people freak out about this copyright stuff a little too much.
Like who's actually going to sue you unless you're making millions of dollars. Now, if you're making millions of dollars, then yeah, it's worth to go after you. Like that one guy that I seen on Twitter. He I think his asset was part of the Humble Bundle, and he didn't give permission for them to use his assets. So yeah, like he was in the right going after them. You know what I mean? Because they made plenty of money. They made plenty of money off them sales using his assets. You know what I mean? But you're just an ordinary guy like Cola Coco who got, you know what I mean, who got a jank RPG Maker wrestling game. Who's gonna sue him?
It's very, very unlikely. Yeah.
Very unlikely.
Yeah, of course not. But that's not even the point.
But
sometimes people like I don't know how to describe it. They almost like mobilize to support this large company from like it's like okay, like just chill out. It's just a game. It's not being sold for anything right now. Like they say it's plays.
I mean, fan games still exist.
Let the dev worry about it.
But
right?
you got some people actually do really feel like honesty is key. If you cannot be an honest developer, then how honest are you going to be, you know, with your product? And should I trust your product? Like what else is stolen?
Well, if they said that it was a placeholder, they're being honest. I mean,
I'm definitely on the honest side. Like I don't think even as a placeholder, you don't need to use any ripped assets for that. There's plenty of free shit out there you can use as a placeholder. There's RTP phases you can use as a placeholder. There's not ever a reason to use ripped assets as a placeholder. Never.
Maybe they didn't know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different on that. I actually.
I know, but I also don't give a shit, right? I wouldn't go and sue them because I don't care. It's not my problem at the end of the day, right? But personally, I would never do it because it's just my opinion on the matter, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just here wondering why are they spending the time to make these models if they're only placeholder anyway?
Well, it probably didn't take them very long to make them, and they look like.
Even if it's just 2 hours to make the entire cast, it's 2 hours wasted.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I've used placeholders before. Sometimes it helps because you know, when you're gonna make something more detailed later, just to get something like slapped up really quick so you can work on the next thing. You know.
Yeah, and I think that's all it is.
I mean, in my opinion, a demo shouldn't have placeholders in the first place, but that's just me, I guess.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me if there's placeholders in a demo. It's a demo. It's not done yet, right? Or it's not.
I mean, a demo should be done. A demo is there to sell you on the product.
Yeah, or just to showcase where it's at. You know, it might not be done yet. You know,
but that's what you can give to your patrons.
Or anybody, really. I mean.
Levessa say if you use RPG Maker default, it's less attractive for the testers. You would complain too if you use RPG Maker default, which is true. But at the same time, if you are a commercial developer, you shouldn't. I do agree. You should not release a demo with placeholders. You should release a demo that's going to reflect your final product in your game. Characters should definitely be available in the demo, at least what they are going to look like, you know what I mean? And pretty much anything that we play in the demo, whether animations, everything else. If you gotta wait for something to get done, like on placeholders, you know, you shouldn't be releasing it. And I can say Simple Gaming is a developer that waits until, you know, he gets everything. But I do believe he did release games on placeholders as well. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I never used placeholders in the first place.
Okay, I just want to make sure, but I can say that you release, you know, certain your games in its full
demo as like the classical sense of it, right? Like back in the day when you had a demo disc.
Yeah, it was.
That was not placeholders. Yeah, that was finished game polish. But just an hour of it, and then the demo ends. And that's, in my opinion, what a demo is.
And for myself, I even just released my full game with like some of the placeholders still in there. Like if it's stuff like an NPC that you might only talk to once, and the stuff.
Developers never release finished games anymore because they can patch it.
You're
the problem. You're the problem.
but I do make sure to like on all the main stuff making sure that's all tightened up. But sometimes a placeholder becomes the main thing that you're gonna.
I mean, you can see it with my recent game, right? I'm not starting the Kickstarter and I'm not releasing a demo before it's not finished.
Well, that's smart. That's smart if you're doing the Kickstarter route. Yeah.
I want the demo to be like finished game polish levels. Like I'm not gonna release it before that point. I'm not gonna put any fucking placeholders in there, and I'm not gonna leave any unfinished areas or whatnot in there because it's a demo. The demo is supposed to sell people on my game.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen if I put fucking placeholders in there.
I agree. And
that's how I think of a demo. Of course, a demo is also like a vertical slice and whatnot. But that's not something I would put out on the public. That's what I'm giving my playtesters. That's what I'm giving my Patreon supporters and whatnot. Maybe my Kickstarter backers can have like an early access to the demo or whatnot, but not like a publicly available demo. That should be finished game levels of polish. At least that's how I think about it.
I agree. You agree, Asai?
It depends.
It depends, really. Like
it
it's
depends.
Just a demo is a very broad term.
And like the demo for my game is actually just the incomplete game, and like in its entirety, the incomplete game. And people, but I make sure that the first few hours are really polished and stuff, and then people, if they're into it, they can keep playing longer. But it's not done yet. Specifically.
Heroic says a demo should make me want to buy your game.
Exactly, and for that it needs polish, and if it doesn't have that, then it's not really a good demo.
Right, and the value of releasing your incomplete game as a demo is you actually can find out when they drop off, and that tells you what problems your game has that you need to work on. So it's been valuable.
Yeah, I guess it's about like what you put it out for and what you communicate with people. Like if you're putting out a demo and just be like, this is not a demo, this is more like an early access, like it's unfinished but playable until point X.
Like if I think
it's more of an early access type thing then.
Yeah, like if I think it's a beta, I'll call it an alpha. That's basically how I kind of try to even if I think it's good to go, there's always something you missed, and so I always try to say it's really not done yet, but if you want to try it, here you go. And
it's a broad term, but like the thing is, if you just put it out on itch and call it a demo and call it like 12 hours of content, and then it's just fucking ugly placeholders and not really 12 hours of content, it's not really gonna sell anyone on your game, is it?
No, that's true.
So I don't know if you should do that.
I think the problem is people get excited and release their game in any position. A lot of people don't know the term placeholders. Developers, they're gonna know what a placeholder is, but if you tell an ordinary person that's an ordinary gamer, they be like, what's a placeholder? What is that?
Players should not even know of placeholders.
Exactly. They're not going to know that term.
Be aware of what is a placeholder and whatnot.
Exactly. So, yeah.
That's another bad thing. Like if you put it on your store page and say like, oh man, these busts are placeholder, that's immediately a bad thing.
If you want to put it on itch, definitely put it on itch. Have it password protected. Those who with the password are the ones that can download your game to to test it until you are properly able to release the proper, sprites or icons
or
for
put
your
it in a
test holder.
disclaimer or something. I don't know. Maybe put it as a playtest version. It really depends on how you really want to do it. There's no perfect way of doing it, I suppose.
And the player doesn't really care. So if something's a placeholder or not, the player doesn't care. If it looks good, it looks good, and you can just swap it out when you can get to it as the dev.
Exactly, but the player shouldn't be aware of them being a placeholder.
Oh, right. Like they don't.
Yeah,
you don't. They're only aware of it if you tell them. So,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's the player.
The player shouldn't be aware. And if it looks shit, then they're not gonna be hooked on your game because it looks shit. So I don't know. You're shooting yourself in your own foot.
Not really. I disagree, DJ King. A lot of players don't know. You know what I mean?
Everybody knows what a placeholder is. Like the term is clear.
You'd be surprised. Surprised what people like. How people.
What you mean?
You'd be surprised how some people interpret, terms when it comes to game. You'd be surprised. Not everybody knows. Not everybody knows what it is. Believe me.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows what a placeholder is or what a term means.
I disagree.
It's in the name placeholder.
I disagree, bro.
I don't know, man. Maybe that's just Americans or some shit.
It ain't no Americans, bro. Some people just don't know the term of the placeholder. You got Synchronic.
I don't know.
Synchronic.
I think it's a mix. I think some people know it, some people don't.
Thank you. He thinking that everybody's supposed to know what placeholder is.
It's in the name, man.
Okay, that don't mean anything.
That's a fair point, though. It is in the name.
It's in the name. Like if I tell anyone,
man,
look, this tree graphic is a placeholder. I'm pretty sure everybody can connect the two dots of what that means.
If somebody said there's placeholders in the game, some things are placeholders. Not everybody's gonna know what that means.
I don't believe that.
Oh my god.
I don't believe that, man.
Do I gotta open up the dictionary on you?
I think that it's all fine. It's fine.
I mean, it's off topic anyway.
Do I gotta pick up? Nah, he gonna say, well, that's an American dictionary anyway.
Placeholders are fine.
I already know this guy, so I ain't even gonna.
What's a dictionary have to do with anything? Like I'm saying, there is nobody who doesn't know.
Because you got terms for games, then you got colloquial terms for in regular standard definition terms. So some people
placeholder means the same thing.
No, it do not. No, it doesn't. There's different definition for placeholder, my guy.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes. In the English language,
a placeholder is always something that's gonna be replaced.
There's different definitions to the word placeholder in the English dictionary.
Let's hear it then.
Okay. Let's see what the chat has to say. Placeholder is in the dictionary. Placeholder is fine as long as clear as the placeholder, in my honest opinion. But busts like these are SG underestimating how ignorant people can be. Exactly.
Man, don't destroy my hope in humanity like that, man.
Okay. Placeholder is a noun. A person or thing that occupies the position or place of another person or thing. All right, that's one definition. Then you have a symbol in the mathematical or logical expression that may be replaced by the name of any element of a set. Then you have
mathematics. Yeah.
Then you have another one. A player who places and holds the ball upright on the ground for place kicking or field goal. There's different definitions.
Or you have a person
they all mean the same.
Or you have a person who holds a government office, especially when appointed to the position.
They do not mean the same, my God. They're different terms.
They all mean it's not the real thing.
You know what I mean? Like bugs. Like bugs. You got different terms of bugs. Some people don't even know what a bug is.
Well, like
comes. I'm just saying, like the definition could definitely be different for people that's not.
Man.
Come on, bro.
Every definition you just stated is pretty much, this is not the real thing. It's gonna get replaced.
So, so what did you guys think about the game's music?
Shit.
Good. I like it.
I really like it. That's like there's like 2 30-second tracks that play during the.
I like the music. I like the variant of the when it's your turn, and I like the other variant when it's the enemy's turn. I think that was like, really good.
It's like good for half.
The only thing I didn't like, the bosses should have had their own theme. The bosses. But the bosses still share the same music as the the regular enemy theme. What about you, Cyclonic? What you think about the music?
I like the music. I've heard the tracks before. I think they are probably just free music that because I download a lot of free music for potential tracks for my game, and I think I've heard these 2 tracks before on the sites I use. So yeah, but I have no problem with them. I thought it fit the mood or whatever. But yeah, there could have been a little more variety, like especially with bosses. Like it was the same music whether it was a boss or not.
And the bosses, they had unique stuff, and definitely they should have like unique music. Final Fantasy Tactics had unique boss theme, and Ogre Battle had unique boss themes, and Shining Force has the same thing. Why you ain't like the music, Harlequin?
Because it's bad.
How is it bad? We need facts.
It's too generic as fuck fantasy tracks that are each like 30 seconds long. And loop the entire fucking time of the 30-minute battle.
It don't take 30 minutes to...
Fuck.
Dun, 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 dun,
and it's not even good music. Like it's not even hype. Like your turn is the chillest fucking fantasy music you hear in a tavern, and you're on the fucking battlefield. Like what the fuck is that music choice, man?
Oh man, I'm done, bro. I'm freaking done. I'm freaking done over here, bro. Like this is
I'm in the middle of the battlefield, man, slaying the fucking Gorgon, and all I'm hearing is no, fuck,
bro. It keeps you hype. It keeps you hype and motivated.
Huh? It's not even a hype track. That's like the relax in the tavern music is what it is.
Oh man, come on, bro.
It's not hype at all. It's not a combat music. That's what I chill when I'm game deving. That's what I'm listening to.
Okay.
Not fucking battlefield music. Jesus.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you, big guy. I hear you. All right,
I'm beheading Gorgons left and right, and I have.
So while we're like actually got the battle screen, let's talk about the battle system in a bit. You know what I mean? Like the mechanics around the battle system. I think this is the critical sell point of the game, a tactical RPG. Not a lot of people choose this style of game when they choose to make RPG. You rarely see a lot of tactical RPGs. Me personally, I love them. I love tactical RPGs.
Right? Yeah, me too.
So this game has, how many classes this game had? I think it was 8. Yeah,
I think there was more than that.
More than that?
I don't know. They all had attack. That's what I know.
Oh my gosh. They all had attack, which is true. How else are they supposed to attack with weapons? But some classes have tactic. Well, the main character had tactics. You have the tactical selection. Then whether you're a pilgrim or a mage, you have magic. Then you have specials if you're a tactician or rider, you know, you have special. And in this game, when you level up like Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, you get experience points upon actions and stuff like that. But you don't learn skills upon leveling up. You actually learn skills by reading particular books that's based on your class. So for example, you could buy a book that teaches Cure, but only 2 classes can learn that ability. Nobody else can learn that. So the classes that you pick can be your healers. There's no subclasses at all. You know, the class that you are, it is what it is. That's your class, and you gotta stay with that, and you gotta strategize around that. And there's a limit of skills you can actually learn. If you learn too many skills, you have to forget a skill. You have to use an item that forget a skill, and there's a penalty.
It's like Pokemon.
And there's a penalty because you have to pay money for it. So the most that I can hold is 3 skills based on your level. When you level up, you unlock a different skill slot, which, you know, in turn you can learn different skills. So what y'all think about that?
I thought that the infrastructure was there for it to be good, but yeah, this game definitely had balancing issues.
Okay.
Yeah, so like you really didn't have to learn the skills to like get through the battles for the most part. You could just attack. It was a little faster if I actually healed up and did like some of the elemental attacks depending on the enemy's weakness, but either way, like there were some times where the enemies were doing 0 to me, and you could just win no matter what. Like I just see it as like some balancing issues that they could fix. But setting that aside for a moment, I thought that the mechanic of forgetting skills was probably just to avoid having so many skills in the skill window that it would, you know, maybe overwhelm the player. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I personally would have not put the skill limit in and just let them learn what they want to learn within their class or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I also, but the part I was kind of digging was like when it started to get to the actual army battles where you had like you were trying to get like recruits, and it's basically the same battle system as for the individual characters, but the part I liked about it was permadeath for the troops. Mm-hmm. So it added a little tension in the army battles where you lose these troops if
I like hit. That. I like that feature.
Yeah, but I did screw myself over though near the end of the demo because I didn't know that you had to craft soldiers through the crafting system. I thought that was a little awkward. Yeah. So I only found that out near the end of the demo, and I had just sold. I was like, man, I'm getting a lot of bronze swords and a lot of bronze bow and arrow. I'm just going to sell them all. And then it turns out that in order to make these militiamen, I actually had to save all that stuff so that I could actually have an army. So I sold everything that I got along the way that prevented me from having a big enough army when I needed it.
Yeah, that's
what screwed me over near the end of the demo.
Yeah, that's how I figured it out, right? Because I'm like, hold on, what the heck? I'm like, how do I get more people like in the army? These people keep one-shotting me until you realize.
I mean, you could have just always grind, right? These like orange banners, like the repeatable battles.
Yeah,
they have random outcomes, so I guess you could have just grinded more stuff.
Yeah, the part.
Of course.
The part we're talking about. The barracks, when you go to the barracks, when you reinforce, you can add how many soldiers, because you get 50 militiamen. So only thing I do is just make a band of 25 each, and you will one-shot those enemies. You will one-shot them every time. Like even though there are bands of 20, you'll kill them in one hit. The less people you have, the less damage you would do. But the more people,
it's pretty much the same as Heroes of Might and Magic.
Yeah, so I'm like, in the game didn't really tell you that. Like even in the manual, it didn't tell you that. That's why it was so confusing to Cychronic, because that was omitted. Even though it did say check your manual in the barracks, but you don't see anything in the tutorial at all about that.
Yeah, no, the army part, I figured that part out. No, I'm talking about the like recruits for
it's a little weird that you have to enter a crafting system.
Oh yeah. You need swords and you need certain armors to craft one. Yeah.
I'm talking about that part outside of the barracks to craft stuff that you use in the barracks. That's the part that was confusing to me.
Yeah, that was crazy too. And that's probably why we keep getting the same bronze swords and bronze axes. I'm like, man, why these enemies giving me all this old stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, why I keep getting all these old weapons that's useless? So you thinking that you're supposed to get this and sell it, but actually you're supposed to keep it and recruit and make recruitments with them. You know what I mean? For your skirmish battles. I mean, yeah, you can farm. I think the game is also built around farming as well, because why would they have the banners that's different levels, different level banners.
I got an army in my first side quest battle before I even unlocked the barracks, and I was like, where are my militiamen? Why can I not deploy them anywhere? I didn't even unlock it yet, but I already got them.
Yeah, you get them early. You get them first. Yeah,
it was a random outcome from one of the side quests I did. I did the dwarven mine, and for some reason I got militiamen out of that.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a few troops that join you.
But before you unlock the barracks, that makes no sense.
And there's a skill too. There's a skill that you learn. It's a passive skill that you learn, and you just go fight the yellow enemy, like the yellow banners, and you fight against human enemies. They would join your recruitment after that, so you could farm militiamen that way too.
Yeah, I think I would have liked this game more if it just were the army battles. Instead of all the wannabe Fire Emblem stuff, because I don't give a shit about that. I don't need that shit.
So you saying the army battles are better than the regular battles?
Yeah, if it was like a full-on management game, like recruit armies and upgrade your buildings and whatnot, really like Heroes of Might and Magic 3. If it was a game like that, I would have still played this. I would have said fuck this podcast, I'm playing this game right now.
Nah, you ain't gonna say that.
I don't know, man. I'm starting out as some dude and I'm getting a goon squad of people I don't give a shit about. I don't know, man. It's just it's unnecessary. Who needs that part?
I'm fine with it. I really liked kind of how they did it in the Suikoden games, where you get your base of operations, you have the tactical army battles, but you also are upgrading your base and stuff. But then the actual characters and their story is actually a normal turn-based system. So it depends on how you want to do it, but it didn't really bug me too much.
I mean, for me, the first part of the game was just not interesting enough to get me to the army battles, though. Your character is a blank slate, pretty much. It's just whatever you picked. So I was expecting to raise an undead army, because I picked the undead kingdom, right? But that's not what happens.
Wait, you expecting to get a skeleton or something?
Yeah, of course, man.
Okay.
That's why I picked it.
So you still be a human even though you pick undead?
I'm still human. I come from the undead kingdom, and I have no undead army choice.
And what I was hoping for by the science and technology
group
was, I was hoping for either a robot or a laser cannon.
You could be an android though. You could be an android.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Yeah, but the characters are also not really introduced. Like, why do I care about all these goons?
Well, you get their backstory in the camp and in the tavern. So
I don't need the backstory.
You can definitely form relations.
Why does my character care about these people?
I'm trying to tell you how that you care. You go and talk to them. You learn their backstory in their mission. Why there are, what they're going through and what's their stance in the struggle and why they're fighting.
That's not true though. What you're explaining already requires me to be interested in the characters.
But the game is based around relations. Like it has a relationship system.
Yeah, I know.
They like you,
and
or they
I
hate
didn't give a shit. I let them hate me, and it makes no difference. As long as they use the attack command, they do what I say. I don't give a crap. Like when they hate you, there is a chance they don't listen to your tactics command. But who gives a shit? I don't need the tactics command. All I need is attack.
Right. As long as they fear you, that's all that matters.
Oh my god.
As long as they use the attack command, what do I care if they like me?
Mm-hmm.
And why are they still with me anyway?
Well, it'd be cool if after they hated you enough, like you get like a mutiny or something, and you have to fight like half of your army.
Like there is no consequence. I played as a ruthless mercenary. I picked every possibly bad option I could. Like I made the guy pay me to save his daughter, right? And then we go into town, and I made the mayor pay me 1K to even consider his fucking offer, and they all hate me, but nobody's leaving me. I'm not losing any characters. They're still just with me for some reason.
They can't afford to leave you.
Well, that's not my problem, I guess. I have not talked to one of these characters. I have no idea who they are, aside from the story mission. I didn't listen to their backstory because I don't give a shit about dialogue. I don't need that.
And who problem is that?
Hey, it's not my problem.
Like the developer. I understand he gives you a choice to talk to whoever you want that you feel like you want to get closer to. You have that option, which in real life, you have an option who you want to talk to, who you feel like you want to have a relationship with. We have those choices. So in the game, you still have those same choices as well, without all this uninteresting dialogue being thrown upon you. You know what I mean? Because if I got a rabbit guy, for example, that rabbit guy, you probably intrigued about this rabbit guy. He's a fighting samurai looking rabbit with a freaking bow.
Why?
Because you probably might be interested in his character.
Why?
Because.
Why do I have to default to being interested? It's the game's job to make me interested.
And the game is doing that job.
No, it's not.
Why isn't it doing?
Not really, at least not for me.
What about you,
like
Cyclonic?
When you start out with Fire Emblem, like the N64 version, right? You start out not as a fucking nobody. You get introduced to your character and your motivations, right? What's his name, Ike or some shit like that? I don't fucking know. But you get to know why he's doing what he is doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can relate to how he's reacting in dialogue and how he's acting around his people. In this game, you're just a character that gets chased by 4 other characters that don't mean anything to you, and you're just following them around, and now they're following you around for some reason. You have no real motivation. You're just some guy. So who the fuck are these people? Why? So they ask you to save the daughter. I'm like, okay, fine. If you pay me, I'm gonna do it. And then they tell you about escorting you to Camp Hope, and I answered, I don't give a shit about Camp Hope, but they get you there anyway. And then they just stick with you. Why? Why are they even with you?
Yeah.
Because they see goodness in you.
Yeah, but they have no reason to. Like, there's no why.
Maybe they're delusional.
They're not my army. They're not on my payroll either. Like, why are they following me around?
Because they really need a friend.
I guess. Like that makes no sense story-wise. Even like when I tell the guy, I don't need to get to Camp Hope. I don't care about that. Like, there was an option for that. I don't remember the exact wording, but it pretty much says, like, I don't give a shit about Camp Hope. Mm-hmm. Right?
And that's the one you picked, huh?
Yeah, it was about, like, there was some fight going on in a nearby village or some shit they wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, nope, it's not my battle. I'm not gonna do it. And they offered, if I helped them, they escort me to Camp Hope, so I picked no. And I still got to Camp Hope. Like, huh? Why?
Because it's your destiny.
Yeah, it's my destiny. Like, who gives a shit about plot holes, right?
But you missing extra content in the game.
I don't care.
This is for
a role-playing game.
You know, yeah, and you got the role to play nice, and you got the role to play bad. But it's
the illusion of choice. It's the illusion of choice.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think they did a really good job.
No, they didn't.
I think they really did.
I think they put the framework in, but it's definitely not. It definitely needs some more time in the oven because
they don't do anything with it.
No matter what you choose, the same thing happens.
If you're begging me to help you save your fucking daughter,
we actually don't know that.
Well, no,
what do we not know?
But wasn't Simple Gaming saying, like, yes, I don't want to go to Camp Hope at all, and then they take Hope.
And they said because he went to Camp Hope because they said they was going to take you there regardless.
No, they told me if I helped them fight in that other village that was attacked or whatever, they would take me to Camp Hope as a reward for helping. I said, no, I don't want to fight that.
And you end up being there anyways.
Yeah, just right after the camp, you just have access to Camp Hope. That's where you go next anyway. And then you go to the dude's house after I made him pay me to save his daughter. Like, what I would have expected, like, if you're begging me and I'm telling you, well, put out your wallet and give me a bunch of money or else I'm not gonna do it, I would expect you to not follow me around after I saved your daughter. And this simp is following me around like a little kitten and doing what I say for no reason.
He knows how to follow orders.
It's like, there's no consequence. When you tell the mayor you want the maximum amount of gold, like the 1K, he says that's more than what is in the town chest, but he's gonna pay it anyway.
Oh my god!
All right, I got free 1K monies, and nothing bad happens.
Oh man. Okay.
If you want to make a choice-based game, I need some consequences that are more than just some kind of arbitrary relationship meter going down.
He said, "Oh man, you got more. That's more than it's in the."
That's what he says. Yeah, you got three options. Like, you can just do it. You can take some money, and you can take basically all the money. And if you do that, he's like, "Oh man, that's more than what we have in the township. I don't care, man. Give it up."
He chose every. He chose every. He chose every bad.
I got into that other battle where they had like a camp. There were like a chick there and some other dude. I don't know. Like, me and some other guy went there, and from the right side came in like 3 other guys from another kingdom or whatever. I don't fucking know. And then you could either join one of the sides or just not fight it. And I just not fought it. I just went out of there. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I took every possibly evil choice I could. and there was not really any consequence to that. Like my units didn't deal less damage or anything, or did a mutiny or whatnot. Nothing.
A mutiny would have been cool.
Yeah, or just losing units. Like, why is this guy still with me?
Uh-huh.
Right? It makes no sense. And you go to his home and share his personal story or whatever happens in there. I don't know what happens. And he's telling you all the stuff about, oh, be careful and have a good day and whatnot. You're like, dude, I just took all your money. Well, why are you nice to me?
It's a place. It's the placeholder.
Yeah, it's probably a placeholder, right?
Well, the fact is that you did save his daughter, even though you bled him dry.
Exactly. So he's grateful. He's grateful regardless.
He's grateful for what?
He knows he owe you more than what you're asking.
Man, I should.
Come on, you saved his only child. What parent isn't going to be grateful?
I don't know.
He's willing
to pay for it, probably.
He's willing to pay any price to save his daughter.
Like, also that they can't die is another bad thing in my eye. Like, what's the point?
I actually really like when games have permadeath. It makes the stakes feel higher. Yeah.
Yeah. If it doesn't matter if they die, then well, fuck it. I'm gonna win anyway. And they're just gonna be back to health.
No, and it was really hard, like back in the day, playing like both Final Fantasy Tactics or like Tactics Ogre, because the battles would be pretty long and they'd be pretty hard, and you couldn't save like mid battle, so it ended up being like, oh, is it worth it to let them die, or should I continue, or should I go back,
or should I save scum? I mean, that's probably what most people do, like reload the save and fight the battle again is probably what most people do to not lose anyone.
No, I would move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I played Fire Emblem, if somebody dies, well, he dead. It's just how it is. Just means I sucked, but if there's no consequence, well, fuck it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the last nail in the coffin, like I was already bored because you got all these nifty mechanics, you got all these skills and tactic skills and whatnot. Who gives a shit, right? If you let me win every battle with just attack, I'm gonna do just that, because why would I bother with all the other shit if it's not necessary? Right? If you give me a tactics game, I expect to be challenged. I expect to needing my brain to fire neurons and all that good stuff, right? And if that's not happening, I'm just gonna be bored. And then I fight the Gorgon and everybody dies except for my character because they do no damage to him, and in good old RPG Maker fashion, poison doesn't kill you, so I soloed the entire fucking fight with my main character because they couldn't kill me. I was literally invincible. And that's when I just fucking stopped, because like, fuck
maybe poison, maybe they don't want poison to kill you.
Yeah, because it's RPG Maker standard.
But maybe their intentions were just for you to panic because you're losing health every round and it's stacking.
Yeah, but they also deal no damage with their attacks. They could literally not kill me in that battle. Like, I had 5 snakes on me and the Gorgon, and they all dealing 0 damage.
Yeah, balancing was an issue.
It's like, I don't need people. Just let me play my main character. I win anyway.
So you could just go in there with one person and you'll win the whole fight.
Yeah, I fought the entire battle pretty much. Like, I opened the gate and that's where everybody died. And the entire inside of the castle, including the boss, I soloed with my main character on 1 HP because poison doesn't kill you and they didn't deal any damage to me otherwise. So I was just standing there, attack, miss, attack, because I was blinded constantly.
Dang.
So I spent like 30 minutes in that battle, but I won anyway.
He said attack, miss, attack, miss. Man.
Yeah, those snakes fucking blind you all the time, right? And nothing I could do about that. So I was just attacking, missing. Like, wow, riveting gameplay right there. I don't know, man. If you have mechanics, you have to make me use them. If I can win your game with just attack, and heal, it's not gonna be a fun game.
Dang. I mean, to each his own. I mean, we all got our own opinions about the games that we like, the games that we have problems with. I actually thought wasn't a bad game.
I enjoyed the game.
It's not a bad game per se.
For what it is.
For RPG Maker standards, but that's about it.
Yeah, for what it is, I mean, it's not bad. Actually enjoyed it. Actually, was invested in it. Like this guy, not this guy.
I don't know. I refused the guy. I just said I have no time for whatever he was about to say.
Really?
So he told me to get the fuck out. And that's what I did.
Dang, you refusing it. And what you? Yeah. I think Cychronic said he helped. He's gonna help. So.
Yeah, I was there to help.
See, me and Cychronic, we want to get what the game has to offer. We're not trying to speed run the game like Harlequin. We actually trying to sit back and enjoy it.
I'm not trying to speed run.
What do you mean? You trying to skip? You trying to skip every battle?
I'm not skipping. If the consequence of my evil choice is skipping, then that's just a bad game design. If you're giving me the option in your game to be evil, and being evil in your game just means skipping content, that's really not a good design.
Okay.
There should be other content. Like if I refuse to help this guy, maybe he comes back later and I have to fight him because he's trying to slit my throat or whatnot. Because I'm fucking evil. Consequences.
Mutiny, yeah.
Right? If everybody hates me, I'm expected to be ambushed at night or whatnot. Something. So I'm not skipping content normally. I'm experiencing different content that should be there. Like if you take Baldur's Gate 3, for example, if you're picking evil choices, I'm pretty sure you're not skipping content. You're just getting different content.
Yeah. It does get different.
That's the point of it. You can take different choices and different paths. It's not skipping content.
Yeah.
So the setup is there for that. Like I can roleplay as the ruthless mercenary I picked, but there's nothing really happening.
Yeah.
Either way, you're a kind-hearted hero. Whether you made those choices or not.
Exactly. Like if they follow me anyway, they hate me, but they still do what I say. Okay, I guess. But what point was the choice then?
Yep, they could work on making the choices matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you make a game like that, your choices have to matter. Absolutely.
Man,
I mean, of course, it's a big comparison versus Larian Studio, but it's the best example, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not if you make a game about choices, you have to make consequences for all of the choices you have.
And you can do it. You can pull it off with RPG Maker too. It's just a lot of work, but yes,
it's a lot of work. But it's the game you wanted to make. It wasn't my choice, right? You wanted to make a strategic tactics game with choices and relationships and army battles. Talk about feature bloat, and you're not pulling it off right.
So you think they should take away the you think they should remove the relations out this game and just have recruitable?
I think they should go either or and not both.
And just have like recruitable characters.
Either do a Fire Emblem or do a Heroes of Might and Magic, like either or, but not both at the same time. Like either make really distinct choices for all the individual characters and whatnot, and dig into the relationship stuff you have, and ditch the fucking army shit, or make it more of a management game with the army shit, and ditch the fucking character stuff.
Yeah.
But splitting your attention into what is essentially two different genres is not good, like especially if you're a solo developer.
Well, it didn't. I mean, having the two different systems, it didn't really bother me at all. It's just incomplete. They didn't actually like make the different choices have different decisions.
Yeah, they put in two systems and made neither one good.
But it could be good.
Could be good, if you put another 200,000 hours into it, sure.
Well, because this is version 0.3, right? So
How many years have this game been out?
Well, I'm looking at the itch, and
this game was uploaded, published on 22. So I would say about a year, almost 2 years.
It's at least a year, okay?
Yeah.
So how many years do we give this game to be good? 5, 6?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but he could make more progress focusing on one thing instead of splitting it up into a mix of two different genres as a single developer, right? Like most of us do smaller games because we know we're never gonna finish it otherwise. Like you're an exception with your fucking 16 cast character.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And how many years have you been working on that?
I've been in earnest since 2018, but I've been releasing projects as I've been making the bigger game, right?
Yeah, right, sure. But still, like it's a lot more work trying to scope it that broadly.
It is. But I'm
not saying it's impossible or anything. You can do it, but like it takes a lot more time, and what's there right now is not good. Like it's not good in the character department, and it's not really good in the army department.
But they got
they
got the basics of a system. But I mean, but the engine that they're using, it's pretty out of date at this point, and
that too. Like it's not the best choices. Like,
dang.
But I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed it. So I think
it can be good, but it needs so much more work. Like in my opinion, what's there right now is not good. Like I played 1.5 hours and I just had to stop because I was fucking bored out of my mind.
I got a good 5 hours in.
Yeah, just couldn't. Like everything just takes forever, right? That's a thing with tactics games. That's just how it is. Like. Is menu marathon, pretty much. Like selecting a unit, click on move the unit, click on attack, no, click on the unit again, click on attack, pick the square you want to attack, wait for the attack, pick the next character. It just takes forever.
Yeah, but
even if you skip everything, it just still takes forever. And what Fire Emblem has is nice visuals. But this game doesn't. With Fire Emblem, I can at least watch flashy animations and combat scenes and nice characters and whatnot. And in this game, you just have these 2D fucking sprites that are fucking RTP chibi sprites with some jank-ass, I don't know, Hero Forge busts. And that's it. And the mapping is not good either. Like, really not.
Yeah, I think that graphically, this could use quite a bit of improvement.
Yeah, like that's what carries Fire Emblem for me. It's like interesting characters and nice visuals, because you can't really speed up tactics games. That's just how it is. Like there's not really a way around it. But if it doesn't even look nice and the music is like a 30-second loop,
Done.
It's just what's there to keep me interested in that?
The gameplay.
But the gameplay sucks.
Your imagination.
The gameplay just sucks right now. Like, as I said, like, you can have a million different mechanics if they don't matter. Why should I bother? Just so I'm finishing the battle 2 minutes earlier because I used fireball instead of attack? How does that make any difference?
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I said, the foundation seems to be there, but it needs a lot more work in all the departments.
You say all the departments.
I think
all the departments.
It seems like they're working on it. So at least there's that.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. Nobody is saying quit game dev or anything. I just think what the current state of the game for me is not something I would follow and not something I would subscribe to Patreon for, because I can make this myself.
I did follow him on Itch though, because I do want to keep up to date.
Yeah, because it's your type of game.
Yeah, I like these type of games. Yeah,
exactly. Like I'm indifferent about tactics games. I only really played Fire Emblem, and that's about it, because I think the battles take too long. But at least in Fire Emblem I can look at nice things. But here I can't, and I probably never will.
Your expectations is higher when it comes to these type of games. It is. Yeah, I mean, you're comparing it to a AAA game.
I'm not playing games that are good for RPG.
He comparing it to a AAA game, so you definitely gonna be, nitpicking.
It was the best example I knew from like being a choice-based game. I could have picked anything else.
You played Capsule Monsters, which was a tactical RPG maker game.
Yeah, that
compared to that.
What am I supposed to compare there?
It's a better game.
That's bad.
It's a better game, of course.
It's not really.
Yeah, I think it's a little better. Yeah.
It has more stuff in it, right? And it looks a little better.
But also
the town, but the combat system is pretty much the same.
But also the premise is a little bit more interesting to me, rather than like hey, guess what? You're dead, and we're gonna play a game. And,
but like you don't compare things to things that are worse. Like, what's the point in that?
Yeah.
Well, right? we want to help improve the game, not make it worse.
Right. But I think sometimes comparing which is the worst, like we've done that before on like some of the like the games we've reviewed, and did it beat such and such, or yeah.
That's Nerd Mansion thing. Would I play this over Pokemon?
Oh man, don't do nerd, boy. Like, don't do.
I don't know, man. Like, for me, like as I said, for me it just fell flat. I'm not following that guy. I'm not paying this any Patreon monies. I wouldn't buy this game or anything, and that's the problem. That's what a demo is supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And this one just doesn't really.
I liked it, but yeah, it needs a little more.
But you guys are also much more lenient than I am.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? You're still gonna play an RPG Maker game that's just good for an RPG Maker game, and I'm not doing that. If I'm gonna play an RPG Maker game, it has to be good enough to be a good indie game and not just good for RPG Maker.
Yeah.
You gotta have hope, man. You gotta have hope, my guy.
No, you guys gotta have standards.
I'm always looking for those diamonds in the rough. A lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times
you do that exactly, and D7 just plays anything.
Oh my god. Got to, man.
I'm not hating on it. You can do whatever you want.
It's just a different approach, yeah.
Exactly, and I'm just not one. I just don't want to spend my time on a game that's barely good for RPG Maker, because that doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. Anybody can make a game that's good for being RPG Maker if they put a little effort in it.
It makes sense. I mean,
like even Mopsicus could do it, right? His jam game was cool. And that was just fucking and that was just a fucking jam game.
There's all kinds of fun things people can do. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the thing is like there's only so many hours in a day, right? And do I really want to spend my time with this, or would I maybe rather play something else where I know it's fun?
I mean, sometimes I kind of wish you could do the hyperbaric time chamber thing like Dragon Ball Z, where you could like...
I mean, if we all had unlimited time, that might be a different story, but we don't. So do I take my chances with some random-ass RPG Maker game that may or may not be fun, but most likely will bore me, or do I just play any of my 200 Steam games where I know they're fun? That's my approach, right? I want to have fun. I'm not here to maybe discover a fun game, because you're gonna tell the Discord server if you found one, and then I can play that. I don't need to look for it. You're already doing that.
Yeah, no, that's cool, and I'll continue to look.
Right? Yeah, that's the thing, right? And D7 plays anything anyway, so whoever requests a playthrough of that, he's gonna play it, and he's gonna more than likely like it too. So I don't need to do that. I can have my high standards.
That's respectable. Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, people can do it, right? I bought Soul Survivor, and I have like 30 hours in that. And it's an RPG Maker game. It's not even a really complicated one.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, it's just a good game, whether it's RPG Maker or not.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, and it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I agree. You know,
yeah, we'll pull it off.
Yep.
There's the selective few that's indie worthy, and Soul Survivor is definitely one of those games.
Yeah, Soul Survivor is a nice little indie game
that a lot of people I feel like are sleeping on, or should experience. If they're like, you know, like a Survivor, you know, challenge, and especially replayable game. Definitely replayable.
Yeah, it's the algorithm. Like the guy did barely any advertising. Nobody knows Soul Survivor. It's not shown anywhere. It wasn't in the new and hot upcoming on Steam or anything. So it's just gonna be in the depths of the Steam void, forgotten.
That's advertising on the developers end.
Yep.
So it gives you an idea. It gives you an idea, fellas. If you're gonna make a game, you should consider advertising or marketing. You know, paying.
Yeah, you have to. There's no way around it. Like whatever you can grab, like make a Twitter account or Blue Sky or whatnot, and advertise as much as you can, or even better, grab some money and hire the professionals for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no matter how good your game is, nobody's gonna play it.
Oh man, that hurts.
It's just how it is, man. If you're not getting, what was it, like 7K Steam wish list before you even launch the game, your game is not even gonna show up.
Yeah. So
what are you gonna do? Like, it's not hating, it's just the fact of the matter, right? If you're not advertising, your game is gonna be forgotten the moment you launch it.
Yep, and it happens to most games, actually. Yeah,
of course, because there's like 100 games coming out every day. So even more.
So developer, if you are watching this, or if you will be watching this, because I did leave the link to you in the itch page. There's some things to consider, and I'm not going to repeat those things. It's definitely throughout the whole vibe, but you definitely got feedback from people who, you know, who like your game, and from somebody that don't like your game. But all feedback should be considered, should be evaluated, and should be, you know, taken into should be looked upon and not ignored. I mean, you have the choice to ignore it and not make any changes because maybe, you didn't get to that part yet in game development. Maybe you're going to change some stuff around. I don't know. I mean, you're definitely 4 hours in the game. I mean, you saying it was 8 to 10 hours. Maybe you wanted the person to grind. Maybe you thought the balancing was right, but
maybe they thought the game was harder than it actually is.
Yeah. I really think the developer actually wanted people to like grind and
if you do
like
all
that.
the side quests at least once, maybe you're getting 8 hours. But even then, like even if it's just 4 hours, look, man, you took a year.
I think I did everything, bro.
And made 4 hours solid of gameplay, right? So if that's your demo, you should totally go and polish that. Like especially like the first 1 and 2 hours of your game should be a demo, and that should be finished product levels of polish. And then you can get it out to people and advertise your game, so you can actually get people to fucking pay your Patreon, right? Because that stuff is not really gonna sell a lot of people on it.
Yeah.
Like the tactics genre is already niche. Like, why do you think there's not many tactics games out there? Because nobody plays them. Like on a grand scheme of things, right? It's a niche genre. And you're making that, and it doesn't look good, and it doesn't sound good, and it has a lot of placeholders, and you call it a demo. You got 4 hours of solid content. I would go and polish that as much as I can, and then put out the demo, and then go on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot and advertise it, and advertise your Patreon, and then you get some money, and then you can continue developing the game with actual assets and not placeholders. That's what I would do, at least.
Okay. Any suggestion to the developer, Cychronic?
I would work on getting your choices actually mattering, like meaning different things actually happening if you make the choices, and also work on your balancing and work on your graphics. Like the parts that you've made custom, I actually think look good, like the world map and stuff. But like the chibi characters,
the mapping is so bad too. Like,
yeah, some of the maps could be better. Too.
The maps are functional, right?
Right, but I do see what you're trying to do with this game. I see the vision, and keep at it. And these games are actually a lot of fun. And with some pretty simple adjustments, it could be a lot better. And just take heed, I guess.
Yeah, I would have definitely enjoyed it more if the characters were more interesting too.
Yeah. That I also felt it also kind of felt hard for me to care about the characters too. So that was a thing.
Maybe introduce them slower but more in depth. Like it doesn't need to be 3 people saving you. You're getting introduced immediately to 3 people with 3 different names and 3 different backstories. Like, I just started your game, and the first campfire, you pretty much already expect me to talk to all of them and listen to their crap. Like, I don't care, right? But you gotta make me care.
Make him care.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's fair.
If you start your game out and nobody gives a shit about your characters, the game is gonna end up boring because half the content is missed because they're not talking to them and they're not helping them and whatnot. Like, you have to make your player care about your characters. Like, that's how it is.
Gotcha. I mean, that's fair. I mean, all good points, all good, fair assessments. One thing I would suggest, developer, is make the class feel special. I do agree with my co-host and it feels like the battles, all the characters feel the same. Now your rangers, like I get it, you got to be certain steps away to like hit them with the arrow and stuff like that, but I think we should have appropriate skills in the beginning for our classes. Starting off, we should have skills. Ranger should have, ranger type abilities. Your healer should have healer abilities and so forth. Because everybody is technically a experienced warrior, fighter, or whatnot. They're not beginners. So you definitely don't want to feel like, they don't have any type of training or whatever. And also, whether you're male or female, your choices should reflect on, the race and that you pick. If I pick somebody from the science world, they should be differentiated amongst each other. Just like you have, Zaf looks different, Abigail looks different, my character should look different too. It will add more depth and more perspective to the player.
What was your starting skill?
My starting skill was, what did I choose?
Like the magic skill, right? Like what magic skill did you just start out with?
Mine was fire.
Yeah, I got fire too.
Yeah, so no matter what you pick, your first starting skill is always fire.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
You guys get it, I got it, and I even came from the Undead Kingdom. Like I picked a knight, a cook with a sword. You guys had the mechanic, and I came from the Undead Kingdom while you had the, what was it, the Bear Kingdom or whatnot, or the Science Kingdom.
Yeah.
And it's still fire. Like in how do you come from the kingdom of fucking science and start out with fire?
I was hoping for a laser.
Yeah, I was hoping for some kind of undead skills like that. That's why I picked that kingdom.
And it's crazy, like they do have a lightning skill, a ice skill you can learn. There's a cleave skill that hit multiple enemies that you can learn. Yeah. Like that's like later on in the game, like when the demo is ending.
Am I the only one who thinks the rangers are useless?
Well,
they were a little weak, yeah.
Like they have so little range that they already automatically in the range of the enemy anyway.
Yeah.
Like what's their advantage? They have no defense and they have a one tile advantage, which they can just move up to you anyway
and hit you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the point of a ranger? Unless you block it with another character, which is
or you have them where they. I think you could pull it off pretty good if you had the rangers where they could shoot from a far range, but that not necessarily right up close. So you there's a mechanic of not letting them get too near you, and you can't get too near them. You could do something like that.
Yeah, I pulled off something nice. Like when I blocked them with my melee characters and the ranger was like behind a rock or something, but that's pretty rare, and in all other cases they kind of useless.
They're a little weak. Yeah.
I mean, but it's the same in Fire Emblem too. Like the archer has like a one tile advantage over a melee guy, but doesn't really do anything. But at least in Fire Emblem, if you're attacking another unit on range, they don't attack back, right? In Fire Emblem, they always attack back normally. Right? You attack them, they give a hit back, but they don't do that in that game anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's a missed mechanic as well.
All right. So developer, there you have it. I mean, we gave you the P's and Q's, the law, the golden book, the golden rule.
Like, now that I see the footage, there's so much more you could have done with the combat system. Like if you made better maps that had some actual like verticality, You could have done stuff with like high grounds and whatnot for your archers and shit like that, but it's not in there. It's just a tactic system, but it's the equivalent of attack.
Mm.
And that's what I mean. Like, there's no engaging mechanics in there. It's not really tactics. It's just a flat map, and you just move up to the enemy and hit the attack button. No, like tactics for me is like use the terrain to your advantage and whatnot, but there is no terrain, like aside from the odd rock here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another piece of feedback, like add high ground and whatnot. The high ground could give extra range to an archer or something.
Yeah, I think tactics, RPG,
stuff like that. Like there's so much you could do which you haven't yet in the game, and that makes it fall flat.
Alright guys, price wise, I have a feeling this game is going commercial. So how much will you pay for this game?
0.
Probably like $4.99.
I ain't paying for no placeholders.
If the game was completed and if the game is released, you pay $0.
Yes.
So you keep this a free game.
Yes, I pay $0.
I pay $4.99, $5.99 for this.
I just doubt they could ever pull it off to a level where I would actually consider buying it.
You doubt that this game would be achieved to that level?
No, absolutely no fucking way.
So developer, you have a challenge. If you can get Harlequin to admit that this game ain't bad, I think you won.
It's not a bad game by a long shot. It's just not good enough.
Well, if the game is good enough, you have won. So, I mean, overall, I see lots of potential, but I do see what you guys mean too. You know, this is the beauty of the podcast, because you start hearing different things and seeing different things. You know, you kind of appreciate other people's outlook when it comes to these type of games. You know, you appreciate it. You appreciate the different views. Then you start seeing stuff differently. Like a lot of these things these guys are mentioning, I have not even seen in my own playthrough.
I mean, I do it on purpose. Like, I also skip the tutorial and everything.
I think Cychronic did too.
Yeah, I do.
I think I'm the only one that saw the tutorial.
Yeah, I do it on purpose. I skip the tutorial in every game, and I try to play the game as poorly as I can. And if the game lets me, it's, in my opinion, a bad game or a bad design.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the beginning where they ask you the question, are you this time fated to live? And then
absolutely clicked on no.
And then if I click on no, it just ends the game. It's like don't even put it in there. Just don't even.
Yeah, I was cringing on that too on my stream. Like, I even streamed this game and I was like, oh come on, not that shit again.
Well, the RTP crew has spoken, guys. We have spoken, but like always, we invite you to download the game for yourself and give it a try. You know, you don't gotta take our word for it, but if you like these type of games, definitely hit the developer up on itch.io.
You can listen to Ifty instead. He thinks it's the best RPG maker ever played.
Mm-hmm. And they actually was hounding us to play this, and we were able to play it. So
man, I'd rather play Starscribe than this, and I hate Starscribe.
Starscribe? You don't like Starscribe?
And I like the game itself, but I can't with the controls, man. I just fucking hate the controls.
And you know that's on the wheel too, so.
Yeah, I know. I dread the day where I have to play it again, but I will try.
You gotta stream it this time.
And maybe if I'm not tired enough.
Or maybe do the story mode with Begonia, or take on the rogue mode.
Oh, I played both already. Like when we played it the first time around, I played both versions. It's just the controls. It's like they feel so unnatural to me. But the game is great, and the game looks great. Like Bird Bunch's game is like one of the best looking games, no doubt about that.
Yeah, Bird Bunch's game is good, complicated, and fun at the same time.
Exactly. Like this game doesn't even come close.
Vampire Hunter D. Now I don't hear no Vampire Hunter D, but that is my jam. So yeah, guys. I mean, shoot. I don't know what else to say. Who pick is it next time? Who pick is it next time?
It's Simple Gaming's pick.
Yeah.
Simple Gaming's pick. So Simple Gaming's gonna pick the next game, guys. I don't know what game he's gonna pick, but just like every week, we come at Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to review another game. So like always, I'm going to let you guys know in advance what game we're going to be playing, and you could definitely follow us on Twitch now. We are definitely on Twitch, and if you prefer to watch us on YouTube, you can watch us on YouTube channel. Either way, you're still going to get
work now, yeah.
Either way, you're going to get the great quality content that we try to strive to the RTP community. And we ask you guys, we're new on both channels, so definitely let people know that we do exist. And if you're not part of our Discord, you could definitely join our Rarely Typical Player Discord. And if you are a developer yourself and you would like for us to play your game, you could definitely submit your game into the game request form, where it will be featured on the wheel for a chance for the RTP crew to play it. So, developer, we thank you once again for creating a game and submitting it for the RPG Maker community. I really think it's courageous and brave for those who is able and to submit a game for people to like really play and judge them. I know it's a nervous thing, but it's how it is. That's how the game world works. People play it and they have opinions about it. So I really don't have much to say or whatnot more about it. $5.99, $4.99, and $0. That average out to $4 pretty much. So yeah. I guess if any of my co-host has anything they want to say, I guess go ahead, and co-host has anything they want to say, I guess they can say something now or hold their peace.
I will forever hold my peace.
Yeah, I think we said a lot in those 2 hours.
All right, we said a lot in those 2 hours. Okay, I got you. All right, guys, until next week, until Simple Gamers give us a game to showcase. I don't know,
masterpiece.
Yeah, I don't know what game he's gonna choose.
I'm gonna look for the shittiest RTP game I can find, man.
Please give us a good one. Don't give us a bad one. So, all right, guys. Peace. What? Peace out. Y'all have a good one. I'm gonna stop this thing.